Under Tablets, the podcast.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to Under the Bridge, the podcast. Thank you for joining us for another episode. My name is Nelson Latif. Our guest today is Clement Esene, who is the founder and executive director of BIPOC Foundation. Thank you so much for joining us. How are you?
I'm doing great, Nelson. Thank you for having me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let's just dive straight into it. Can you please tell us more about BIPOC Foundation and what you do in the community?
Thank you for that question. Essentially, BIPOC Foundation is a non-for-profit organization that was funded by the Canadian government. What we do is we cater to Afro-Canadian businesses to help them, bring them from idea all the way to market. So in a very few words, BIPOC Foundation connects entrepreneurs with resources and funding. And for entrepreneurs that are not ready, we get them ready to assess these things.
Oh, I see. So if I have a business idea, how can BIPOC Foundation help me to make my idea come to life?
Well, that's a fantastic question. We have a straight network. You get a hold of BIPOC Foundation, and there's several means through which you can reach us. One of them is through our website, and you go through an intake process, and then we get you connected with after doing a review, because we do realize that entrepreneurs are in different phases of their journey. So depending on where you are, through our analysis, through working and talking with you, and gathering some specific details, we will be able to know where you fit in our program, and essentially we'll work with you, hold your hand until we get you to success.
Yes, sir. I know one of your objectives is to create economic freedom within the BIPOC community. But my question is, what opportunities do you see for BIPOC entrepreneurs to start their home businesses here in Lethbridge?
Amazing. I like to say that opportunities themselves are found in pain. So you got to look around your environment as an entrepreneur. That's where you generate your ideas. You got to find what skill sets do you have that people are willing to pay for.
Yes, sir.
Right? What knowledge do you have that is valuable enough that you can convince the next man to pay you for it. And then you look around your environment. What is that challenge that you personally feel that other people also feel that becomes a problem that you can create a solution for? So the solution itself, entrepreneurship, lies in the pain and the pain points of the people around you that you create a solution for that people are willing to pay for.
Yes, sir. I like how you put it. Because I've been to some of your events, right? BIPOC Foundation's events. And I really like the pitch competition at Galt Museum. And I also learned a lot at the Let's Talk Business. That was at the university. Can you break down the importance of these events for your foundation and the community?
Thank you. I credit those events to our Lethbridge chapter. Fantastic team. We have an amazing team of staff, interns, volunteers, and even community partners. That we all work together to make this event happen. So those events, we started curating those events because we saw a lack, within the community, and we wanted to be able to give community members more to do. Right, we've just come out from COVID,
yes.
Right, and it seemed there is less to do within the Lethbridge community, and we need to keep both the younger ones and the older ones within the community engaged with profitable, and events that they can actually benefit from. And that's why we started putting together these knowledge-based, and knowledge transferring events where people can attend and they can go away with, good knowledge. And for the pitch competitions, we can spur the young people and help them discover the talent that they never knew they had.
Yeah, the pitch competition was really inspiring for me, to be honest, to just see all these ideas and people come. It was fantastic. Does BIPOC people in other provinces and cities besides Lethbridge have access to all these benefits of the foundation or your services, or is it only available to people here in Lethbridge?
Well, right, we have a mandate with the federal government right now to cater to Afro-Canadian businesses across Western Canada. So we serve businesses in BC, Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba. Now we also have folks from other provinces accessing our programs. We don't say no to these guys because, hey, at the end of the day, we just want to, get down to work and ensure that we are providing value, for the community. And even though our mandate right now covers Western Canada, we're actually, a national organization, and we also have a global outlook. What that means is we are certainly working on pursuing global expansion because, underrepresented founders are everywhere.
Yes.
And we believe that we've put together a model that is replicable, and we will pursue partnerships that will allow us, replicate this model, on a global scale. We already have, some people from other continents and countries that are working with us, mentors, advisors, and even some staff members, right? And, and even entrepreneurs that are, accessing our programs, from other countries, and it's just helping us validate the fact that these problems exist and that, we need to continue to do what we're doing.
Thank you so much. You guys are doing amazing work. I've got to give you that. Which is when I found out that you guys won an award last year at Lethbridge Chamber of Commerce. I said, yeah, well deserved. Can you please tell us more about that? What was that all about?
Well, I guess I'll take the opportunity to give the RINSA. RINSA is the Regional Innovation Network of Southern Alberta team. Comprises of a few community organizations, the university and the college, and even the chamber as well. They thought it wise, to give us a special recognition in our work as it encompasses justice, access, inclusion, diversity, equity, and belonging,
Yes,
right,
sir.
in the entrepreneurship landscape. So, both the chamber and RINSA thought, we're doing a great work and give us that recognition, and we're really happy and excited that we could, receive that.
Yes, sir. I like that. Moving along, you came to Canada as a student, right?
Absolutely. Correct.
Yeah, I hope you don't mind me getting personal here a little bit.
Not a problem. That's good.
Yes, sir. What was your biggest challenge assimilating to a new culture and environment?
I can tell you a lot of stories, regarding this question, but the one I'm going to point out is, culture shock, right? Coming straight from Nigeria to Kamloops, British Columbia, where I had my postgrad education. It was a very different environment for me. There was a lot of cultural differences.
Yes.
But the one thing that I came with, which I do believe that a lot of immigrants like myself possess, is that ability to work very hard, right? I put in a lot of hard work, as a student, here, and I can tell you for sure that when I first came here, I was going to school full time, and I had the opportunity to pick up, 2 to 3 jobs, just to get things going at the time, right? To make sure that, I was, bringing in and bringing in the bills never stop coming. If you mean,
yes, sir.
You know what it is, right?
Absolutely.
And, so hard work, is very, very important. And I can tell you a little story. I was never able to stop calling my professor sir. This is something that came with me, from Nigeria. When someone is older than yourself, you just always address them as sir, and it became so much a part of me that it doesn't matter whether you're my mate. It doesn't matter whether you're younger than me.
Yes, sir.
Right? So I had a few of my professors had issues with that.
Yeah.
But I had to meet up with one and tell them, say, listen, this is culture, right? It's going to take a while. I understand your perspective, but work with me here, right? But right, so it's been a long time coming. I still call people sir, by the way. But
I have a story related to that one as well. There was a gentleman that I know, and there was a lady also from Nigeria, and she would never refer to this gentleman by name. Like, she would never call him name, sir, and this and that. And he found it very rude of her. Like, you know my name, call me my name.
Right.
And then eventually explain to him like, hey, she's probably from Nigeria, our culture. People older than you, you don't refer to them by name just like that.
Yeah,
so those are a few little things. Thank you for sharing that. You other than BIPOC Foundation, you have other business interests that I know you are involved with and stuff.
Correct.
Would you like to share with us what you do and?
Sure. Well, for purpose of this conversation, I will just share two of what we do. We also own. I'm a co-founder of a technology business.
Okay.
It's called Daniola Corporation.
Okay, Daniola. Sorry, how do you spell that?
Daniola.
Yes, sir.
And if you were, for viewers, it's the website is daniolacorp.com.
Okay. Yes.
What Daniola does is it offers software services for the mining industry. And we work around the landscape of data governance, traceability, transparency, and trade within the mining industry. And when I talk about the mining industry, I'm actually talking about minerals, metals, and gemstones. As an African who comes from Africa that is really blessed with natural resources, I have very sentimental interest in across the minerals, metals, and mining landscape, and I want to make sure that the provenance of these assets are properly verified and use our platform to promote better trade between the African continent and the rest of the world. So by saying that Africa is our primary market, a little bit biased there, but it's a global platform essentially that ensures that people are following the right ethical practices for mining, and that these records are properly taken and ensure that we're creating global exposure to local miners in the small villages that would never have been able to sell their product at globally competitive pricing. And that's part of what we do. And then we have another organization. It's in the wellness and beauty space. It's called Ori Botanics. It's essentially organic oil line, right? That that ensures that people are able to appreciate their beauty and that they are empowered in their own skin and as well as just general wellness. So
that is very important, empowered in their own skin, right?
Right.
Yeah, I like that. That's very important for us as Africans, obviously. What leadership principles or strategies have you found effective in building and managing your team? Because I know you have large scale of team, people that work with you.
Well, the one thing that I can tell you for managing team is really empowering your team and making them know and continuously encouraging them and helping them even through seeing the way I operate, know that they can be better. And also allowing them that leeway and the freedom when I give projects to execute. I'm not big with micromanaging teams, right? So we empower team members. We give them a scope, right? And then we work together. I'm open access as well, right? I'm not a closed door leader, right? And then I'm open access, ensure that there is resources for team members to deliver whatever they need to deliver, and to teach the teams that it's very important to ask the right questions, because the quality of questions you ask is the quality, determines the quality of results that you get.
Yeah, the questions that you ask. So I'm going to ask you this because I sought you out on your Instagram page, on your personal Instagram page, and I see that you are big on posting inspirational and motivational quotes. That is something we also try to incorporate on our Instagram page. We call it quotes to take notes, right? Can you share a particular quote that impacted your life the most, if you have one?
That's a very good question. It's tough to single out a single quote. Coming from Nigeria, everything is circled around, riddles, idioms, quotes,
poetry.
Poetry, and I can tell you that my dad was very extremely big with that. So from childhood up until now, there's like a million, quotes, that I live
Proverbs
by, that I live by on a daily basis. And but the one that I can say have really, really impacted me is anything worth doing is worth doing well.
Yes, sir.
Right. So
Please say that one more time.
It says anything worth doing is worth doing well.
Yes, sir.
Right. And when I put my mind to something and I decide to do something, I go in all in. Right. If it was worth my time in the first place, why not do it very well? Right. There's another one that I really like, by Martin Luther King. It says an individual has not started living until he can rise above the narrow confines of his individualistic concerns to the broader concerns of all humanity.
Wow.
Yes, I really like that one.
That's deep. Thank you for sharing. That's deep. You moved from BC to Lethbridge.
Absolutely.
How long have you been living in Lethbridge?
I've lived in Lethbridge now 4 years. Actually, I moved from BC to Calgary and from Calgary to Lethbridge, but I've been living in Lethbridge 4 years now.
Okay, so 2 questions, maybe 3. Why Lethbridge? Do you consider Lethbridge home, and are you loving it yet?
There's a few reasons why Lethbridge,
Yeah.
And I can tell you that we first started visiting Lethbridge and transiting back and forth Lethbridge for almost a whole year.
Wow.
Before we decided to move to Lethbridge, and it was because of business, right? Same issues, right? When we're trying to start out our software business, at the time where the words like artificial intelligence, blockchain, machine learning, big data, these words were just buzzwords. It was very difficult, to even articulate the idea of the software that we're trying to build, right? And in a market that is as saturated as the Calgary market, it was very difficult to even get audience with key stakeholders that could offer the help. And quite frankly, being an entrepreneur or being a tech entrepreneur was not hip at the time, right? It wasn't, and being a black founder was not hip too, right? So myself and my co-founder, absolutely brilliant lady, as you can tell, right? Simi Adoye Esene.
Yeah, and that's your wife.
That's my partner.
I like that.
Right. Living and dreaming this idea of being able to transform the mining industry. The mining industry is also not an industry that, it's a legacy industry.
Yes.
It's an industry that has been there for such a long time, just like education, but there's not been a lot of transformation, even technological transformation in that, So people were not, it wasn't fintech, so people were not really interested. But when we started to communicate with, kudos to the Economic Development Lethbridge team,
Okay.
Tech Connect, and the entire team over at Tech Connect. When we had a meeting with them, a phone call led to a phone call that got us in contact with Tech Connect, and we had a meeting, and we kind of told them our vision. It just made sense.
Yes, sir.
We had an idea that they were also looking to validate pieces of of that idea at the time. So we started traveling back and forth, having meetings, attending some educational events that they were putting up, and that was. And my wife was pregnant at the time.
Oh, goodness.
Right. So and visiting Lethbridge and seeing how such a beautiful and warm community it was, it wasn't difficult to make an idea to move to make up our mind to move to Lethbridge. And since we did, we never looked back.
Wow, good stuff. That actually, when you mentioned now your wife was pregnant at the time, there's quite a amount of people that I've spoken to in the past, and one of the major reasons why they settled there in Lethbridge is a great place to raise family, right? Do you agree with that?
I say yes. It's a fantastic place to raise family. It's a small community, quite frankly, I love small communities, right? Like 20, 30 minutes, you're driven around the entire city. But I have everything I need, here in the have is an international airport, but it's just 2 hours away.
Mm.
So I mean, when I lived in Calgary, when I used to walk in Calgary, it would easily take me 2 hours to get from my house to work.
Yeah.
Sometimes. So what is 2 hours? What is the 2 hour drive to the airport? So yeah, it's a fantastic community to raise family. That's for sure.
Thank you so much. Do you have any words of encouragement for someone who's starting out or struggling to find a fit in business?
Well, yes, I do, and I'll tell folks out there, that are struggling to find their foot in business, to hold on. Resilience is a key, ingredient. Is a key attribute that you must have as an entrepreneur. Nobody ever said that entrepreneurship was going to be easy.
Yeah.
It's not an easy journey, I can tell you right now. It's not an easy journey, and it's actually also a very lonely journey.
Yes,
and
sir.
that is part of the reason why we started the foundation. We wanted to make sure that lonely entrepreneurs trying to build something cool do not feel lonely anymore. We wanted people to know that they were not by themselves and that they had a team that they could rely on. So we are your team, outside your business. You had anything that you wanted, you had any questions, we have a bouquet of expert advisors and mentors, and in different horizontals and verticals of business that we can connect you to. And we do not even say that we have all the answers. we are just one out of the lots of amazing service providers, entrepreneurship service providers out there. And whatever answers we don't have, what do? We send it to our partners, and then we'll follow up with our partners to ensure that they are finding you those answers that we could not provide. And that's how we work. We work in a team. Rinsa itself, which I mentioned a little bit earlier, is a team of, it's a partnership network where, we come together to help entrepreneurs to ensure that they're getting their answers and we are moving them to success.
Awesome, good stuff. I mentioned earlier about the Let's Talk Business and the pitch competition, and then you have another event. I think is the Let's Chill and Vibe.
Let's Vibe and Chill.
Let's Vibe and Chill. Good stuff. Do you have? Are those events gonna be happening monthly, or do you have other programs that you want people to know about? You want to share with us?
Yeah. The idea of the Lethbridge chapter came because charity begins at home, right?
Yes.
We're this big organization. We do all this work that covers all these areas. It would be a shame if we're not going above and beyond at home, and that's why we curated, a local team to ensure that we have very, very creative and very, very impactful events. And like you said, we have the business talks, we have the pitch competitions. We have the Vibe and Chill, which is somewhat a talent show, so to speak.
I was at the last one, yeah.
So and that's there is creative artists within the underrepresented communities, right? There is a lot of people with different kinds of talents. We want people to showcase those talents. We want people to harness those talents. We do not want Lethbridge to be a revolving door where people just come, go to school and leave
and bounce.
And it's not also just a place just for old folks only. No, we want to see young families. We want to see people stay here, get jobs. Start businesses, get married, start families, right? But we also need to give people something to do, right? We need to give people places to go. We need to give people good events that they can look forward to, and that is the reason why our Let's Make It Happen brand is dedicated to creating all this local business focused and with a little bit of fun events, for the community.
Yeah, I had fun at the last one. Really, I must say that was a good one. And thank you so much. That was well put together. Lastly, how can people reach you guys and connect with you on social media, everywhere, wherever you are, like right on?
Right. We are on all social media platforms, right? It's BIPOC Foundation, right? And our website is www.bipocfoundation.org. We have a contact us page where you can book a 15 minutes coffee chat, right? And someone will get a hold of you, and connect you to the right department or the right person that you need to be speaking to. We also have sub brands like I've mentioned, which is the Let's Make It Happen brand. That curates our local events. Follow us on Facebook, on Instagram, and other social media platforms as well. And we also have the Amazon Lions. This is it's a soccer club.
Please tell me about that. It's my first time hearing about that one.
Right. So the Amazon Lions is it's a soccer team
Okay.
that we've put together. We want to make sure that even as we're going into the summer, we give young chaps a summer camp
Okay.
that can keep their minds busy. We want to get them mentally engaged through the summer, and instead of being idle, because hey, they say the idle mind is the devil's workshop.
Yeah.
Right? So we might as well we decided to put something together where we are identifying these stars and getting them together in a structured team that we're going to put into competitions.
Wow.
And hopefully they can big promoters or whatnot scouts can find them through those competitions that we put them into play as well.
Wow, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Esene. We really appreciate your time, and we wish you good luck on everything.
Oh, thank you very much. And again, thank you for having me. You're doing a fantastic work here.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. And massive thanks to every single one of you for tuning in once again, and be on the lookout for our next episode. Peace.
Peace.